every system is perfectly designed to get the results it achieves. That's what we have to appreciate. These systems, if people say, well, how do we fix them? They're not broken. They're designed to produce exactly what you see.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fixing them. There really isn't, because they're perfectly designed. We need new systems, right? These systems, as they're set up, are designed to do exactly what they're supposed to do. Women have a certain position, people of color have a certain position, white people have a certain position. When you look at law enforcement, I can't tell you how many people have said to me, how do we fix it, Joy? How do we fix it? I said, you can't fix it. You know that policing, for example, in America, it came from slave patrols.
I'm
The
not
function,
surprised anymore.
right? So the actual, it was derived was terrorism. They were terrorizing enslaved people that had been freed for fear that there was going to be a revolt. It never happened. You realize that they still punish us over this notion of fear of what we're going to do, because and that's their pathology. I mean, that
Mm-hmm.
really is their pathology. But if it actually came from slave patrols, what makes you think it's there to protect you? It's not designed to protect you. It may occasionally, but
What's up, guys? Welcome to the latest episode of the Good Faith Show. I'm in a good mood today. I'm your host, Andre Morton, and the Good Faith Show is only on the ATP Network. You can catch the ATP Network on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Twitter. And also, too, I have some shameless plugs for you guys. Um, so follow the official ATP Network account. The handle for that one is at ATP Network 247. And also, too, subscribe to my podcast, guys. Real Recognize Real, man. I'm growing up on there. I'm evolving more. Especially after this election, I'm a change, man. You know, uh, I just, you know, man, playtime. My mama and my grandma used to always tell me. She said, "Son, Andre, playtime is over. Like, things are real." And they was talking about biblical like shit, like revelations and stuff like that. Cause I grew up in a religious family, but I'm talking about the fascism, the United States, man, in general, like climate change. Playtime is over for us, man. Like, we gotta get real, guys. After this election season, man, we're gonna have this election party. That will the CEO of the network call it. We'll have that. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna get high. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, the way I've been feeling lately, man, I need to. I need some. I need some marijuanas and some alcoholics. I'm not an alcoholic or nothing. I barely drink alcohol. It's one of those nights where, like, that no matter who you vote for, then you watch the results. Whoever wins, like, they win because, as long as you work for the corporations, like, even though Kamala loses, she's still gonna be fine. Like, and Trump loses, well, he gonna quote unquote incite another insurrection. Oh man, people still talking about J6 2021, man, 1/6 2021. Like, let it go, people, liberals. Like, it happened. No, no, government official got killed or hurt. Like, okay, a couple of broken windows, shit on the floor. Like, who cares? Like, I'm so sick of hearing, like, they brought this shit up during the debates. I'm like, bro, that's 3 years ago. Like, like me bringing up old shit that happened in 2005 or some shit. Like, between me and my mama, we said something to each other, and I mean, people like, bro, let that go. That's old news, and J6 is old news. So yeah, the woman you just heard earlier when I was opening up was Dr. Joy DeGrew. I discovered her from JB Font. I know you probably seen his face pop up on the screen at the last minute. Yeah, he featured that video. He got that from TikTok, but I couldn't find it. Cause when I typed in Dr. Joy DeGruy, it just took me to other stuff she had. I was looking for that particular video, but I'm a dumbass because I realized that TikTok video had a watermark on it. It had a watermark. All I had to do is go to the watermark and get the video from there. But I screenshotted the beginning of one of his shows on RBN. I'm a dumbass. Yeah, man. So yeah, like that's all liberals got. Like Trump is a fascist, J6, you know, no fucking policies, you know, nothing like that. Just Trump bad. They running on Trump bad. Like they did that in 2016 and Hillary Clinton lost. So only reason why Joe Biden won because of COVID and the economy was, you know, for the people was shit. The top 1%, they was getting richer during the pandemic. Like nobody even talks about that. Like while you lost your job, you had to get unemployment. A lot of people didn't even get unemployment because the state unemployment system wasn't sufficient enough to keep up with all the demand. So I got unemployment, but fortunately I got it pretty quickly. But man, it's just a lot. You know, this is why voting. You know, I understand what a lot of people are saying. Voting in general will not get us out of this. It won't. It's a losing a choice. The purpose of voting on the federal level, I would say federal level, is to make sure. Hold on, guys. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties there. But as I was saying, damn, I forgot, I lost my train of thought. God damn it, son of a bitch. But anyway, yeah, voting. Yeah, voting is a losing a choice. You know, like these candidates are prefab, they're pre-picked. The only thing, they pick one out of the bunch that will do the bidding for them. Like Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is not there to help you. Like until people understand that, the ones that flip flop from Democrat to Republican, those are independent voters, which is crazy to me. I just call those flip floppers, but it is what it is. That's what the posters classify them as. So yeah, man. Yeah, nothing will fundamentally change in this election. You probably know that already. I'm just talking. I'm just basically preaching to the choir at this point. Just like right. Okay. The first thing I want to show you guys, I got 3 videos here. I got to show you some polls that's not looking good for Kamala Harris. I'm just gonna tell you that. And I got more Perfect Union with a video where they had Tim Walz on there trying to convince voters to vote for him and Harris. And then the guy that's supposed to come on to my show, he made another video talking about the PSLs and the Greens, parties, so very interesting show. The first, let me share my screen right quick. Shit. Gotta show you the polls. This is from 538. I'm gonna make it bigger for you guys so you won't be straining. Let me see. There we go. I hope that's big enough for you. This is from 538. You look right here for the presidency. Like right here, I'm not looking at the Senate. Pennsylvania even, Nevada even, Michigan 1 point, Wisconsin Harris is up +1, North Carolina Harris is up 1, and Georgia Harris is up 1. So let's go to Pennsylvania first because it's one of the swing states. Let me see. Let's go to Pennsylvania. Look at that narrow margin, man. Look at that. This is from what, August 1st? Look, Harris was up a little bit in September. Then, now Trump is up by 0.3%. He's up by 0.3 points. Oh my goodness. Like, that's not good. And then, now it's even. So it's definitely a tie in Pennsylvania. Let me see. Research company has Trump up, Harris up one. The Transfollow Group has Trump up one. Patriot Polling has Trump up one. Inside Advantage has Trump up one. Atlas Intel has Trump up two. Emerson College, that's a big one, has Trump up one. The New York Times Siena College poll got Trump up one. Like, it's not looking good for Harris. It's not. Let's go to Nevada, another swing state. Let me see. That's Michigan, Nevada. There you go. Yeah, Nevada. Nevada is the same. Trump up half. Trump is up. Harris by 0.5% percentage points. Let's see. Patriot Polling has them at even though it says Trump 50%. I guess 49.9 or some shit like that. Atlas Intel has Trump up by 6 in Nevada. Oh boy, that's not good for Harris. This is not looking good. Let's see. Emerson College has the even. New York Times Siena College has Harris up 2. Okay, so yeah. You look. Emerson College, another one from real cool, it's even. So yeah, that's Nevada. I'm gonna go to a couple of more states. I went to Nevada, Michigan. Michigan. Wow, Michigan is the one that a lot of people thought that Harris could lose, which it's a margin of error. So yeah, she still could lose it. Like, that's what margin of error is. She up one on Michigan. Let me see. Let's see. Research has Harris up +2. Patriot Polling has Harris up 1. Atlas Intel has Trump up 2. Emerson College has Harris up 2. Atlas Intel from November the 1st and 2nd has Trump up 2. So New York Times, Siena, man, they really banking on Trump. Now I got Trump up 3 points. So yeah, it's not looking good for Harris. This is why my friend got attacked, because you look at these polls, and then I'm pretty sure they call her, my friend that got attacked, a Trump fan, a Trump supporter too. Let's go to Wisconsin, and we'll go to Georgia. Go to Wisconsin and Georgia. This is Wisconsin now. Now I think Harris will win Wisconsin, in my opinion. I think the college kids, Madison, Wisconsin, it's up to them. They come out in heavily favor of her. Should be Jill Stein, but y'all know how it is. Research company got Harris up 3 points. Trafalgar Group got Harris up 1. Insider Advantage got Harris up 1. Trump up 1. Atlas Intel got Trump up 1. Emerson College got him at a dead tie. The New York Times Siena got Harris up 2, 3, then 2, then 1. Well, the 2, then Florida Atlantic University poll got Harris up 1. So I think Harris will win Wisconsin, though. All this shit is just close, man. Look at this. Now I'm finna go to Georgia. Then I'm done reading polls, because I do not like polls. I think Georgia's close too. As of now, it got Trump up, leading by 1.5 plus points. So that's crazy. Now, in early September, Harris was ahead in Georgia. I think a lot of people thought that Harris was going to lose Georgia. Georgia was a fluke because the suburban vote came out for Biden in 2020. Right here, got Inside Advantage got Trump up 1. Patriot Polling got Trump up 2. Atlas Intel got Trump up 3. Wow. Emerson College got Trump up 1. Active Vote got Trump up 2. New York Times Siena College got Harris up 1. So yeah, man. So yeah, that's the polling going on. Shout out to 538. I like they got all the polls in one area, so you won't have to look for them, because that's a lot of fucking work. Oh man, that's a lot of work. So what I take from this is this election is gonna last over till Wednesday morning. I think we ain't gonna find out who won till at least by Wednesday, because still gonna have votes coming in. It ain't gonna be like it was in 2020. 2020 was pandemic year, and they had to do everything differently. But now I think it's gonna be close. Nobody is gonna get blown out. It's gonna be a miracle in prayer for both of these motherfuckers, because these polls also show you too that these motherfuckers are unpopular. Like, nobody likes these people. Like, people don't like Harris because she's fake, and people don't like Trump because all he do is talk about trans rights and fucking eating cats and dogs. Like, and also too, people ain't stupid. Like, people know these parties don't give a fuck about them. Like, they didn't know this. Like, it's nothing new. Like, it's nothing new. So yeah, I just had to show y'all some polls. Why not? Even though I don't like doing polls, I see Sabby Sab, she do them, and a couple other people do them. So I said, hell, why not? So that's that. Now the second video I'm gonna get to is for More Perfect Union. Share my screen. No, not that one. Share my screen with you guys. Give me a second. Share my screen. I don't know why this does this. It's damn. Even using these fixed day like software, because it is a little laggy. Yes, it's a little laggy. Right? Okay. Now I'm finna share my screen, guys. Sorry for the delay. Okay. All right. More Perfect Union. Before I play the video, I guess they must have got in touch with Tim Walz and his team, and they got him to try to convince voters. Tim Walz is a good speaker in terms of, like, he ain't a good debater. He actually fucking sucks at debating. Like, he said that himself. At least the motherfucker being honest with that. Despite his suspect military record and stuff like that. But yeah, man, like, can he convince these folks to vote for an empty suit? Like, Tim Walz, bad. Like, you did good things in Minnesota, but I don't like your stance on Israel, and also too, that's correct. But the only reason why I bet Harris picked you is because of your record. To have somebody, and you're white. Let's just keep it 100. Like, it can't be two of the same color, right? Well, it used to be, but nowadays, DEI hires and shit like that. So yeah, this should be interesting. Shout out to More Perfect Union, man. They do amazing work. I'm not gonna play the whole thing out of respect. I used to play the whole these videos, but I'm like, that's disrespectful to them, because they put all the hard work and time into it, and then I'm basically using their work for free. Like, they can just fucking copy strike it, but I'm glad they don't. So yeah, I'm gonna play it and pause it and get my thoughts.
Hey.
Hi, Dad. I want to introduce you to some voters right here.
Hi, Tim Walz.
I'm here in Erie, Pennsylvania, where we've organized a sit-down with Governor Tim Walz.
That's great. Hi, everybody. Good to see you all.
And undecided working-class voters.
Appreciate it. Thanks for taking time out. Grab a seat.
I am a registered Republican, and I did vote for Trump the last election.
I'm pretty mixed on it, to be completely honest.
And I did vote for Donald Trump in 2020.
We want to find out, what will a Harris administration actually do to get wages up, prices down, and save American jobs? And how will they take on the corporate greed that's rigged our economy? And most importantly, will Governor Walz change any of these voters' minds?
I wear with a badge of honor being maybe the poorest person to ever run for vice president in the history that they said. I'm a middle-class guy. I got a pension. I don't own any stocks. I recognize we've lost some of the working class folks. We got to get folks back.
Yeah, like, y'all don't recognize. The problem, though, Tim Walz, is the Democrats and Republicans don't never recognize the working class. Like, every fucking speech you hear from these motherfuckers is middle class this, middle class that. Like, there's obviously a section of the country where people live paycheck to paycheck. God forbid if they get real sick. Like my friend, she got real sick and she had to miss work. But if it wasn't for me and a few other people helping her out, she would be fucked. A lot of people ain't got that luck. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why, like, the working class need help too. Like he keeps saying middle class. Like that's all these fucking politicians say. Like there's like middle class and the ultra wealthy, then and then all these working class folk out here with voting for Harris and Trump. I'm like, they don't give a fuck about you.
I'm Gordon Rohde. I'm third generation farmer on our farm. I'm also I'm a retired AFL-CIO, skilled union laborer. So I haven't really totally made up my mind, but I'm leaning more for Trump, I think, because of the situation with the economy.
So how'd you get back?
Let me say this. It's so easy just to call folks out their name, like in terms of like, maybe but you say in your head like maybe don't do that. If you want to radicalize people, you don't do that. Like that's unprofessional. I wouldn't do it. I'm just saying like sometimes in my head these people say that stuff like even black folks like Trump would be better with those immigrants. I'm like, like they don't understand why these immigrants come over there like that in caravans like they, but with right here in this situation, like Trump would not be better on the economy. Like according to Trump's tax cuts, you the farmer and me the fucking box packaging guy, we'll be paying way more in taxes than our top 1% counterparts. So and Harris cut taxes a little bit, but again, like the wealthy still not paying their fair share. So yeah.
Back on the farm, if I can.
I worked construction full time and farmed with my father. So my sister and I own it now together, and we're still operating.
What do you raise?
We have beef cattle.
What should we do to make it easier? What would be the big thing?
I think the biggest problem now is the price of the equipment has become so expensive. When fertilizer went from $4.50 to $9.50 a ton, that was devastating, and then our chemicals tripled at that time also,
My farmers are getting about $4.10 a bushel for corn. That's what they were getting when grocery prices were 30% lower. They were still getting $4.10 then. The farmer's not getting any more money on this. Now, input costs went up for that farmer just as much as they went up for the middleman who's in there. Corporate profits have seen a bigger rise than at any time in our history. So it's as simple as this. Somebody in the middle's taking more money. They're asking for a tax cut in the middle. Farmers aren't getting the money, and they're passing on the cost. So she's talking about stopping the price gouging on these things, making sure the prices are fair, making sure wages are keeping pace with.
Yeah, but the problem though, like, it's price gouging, obviously, right? Like from $4.50 to $9.50 for fertilizer, like that is fucking insane. But not surprised. But again, like she doesn't have a plan on price gouging. All Kamala Harris do is I acknowledge that. That's all she say. Like I acknowledge that. So yeah, like what like you could talk about it like I'm gonna lower your taxes. Or no, that's stupid. Or I'm gonna give you health care, but how are you gonna give us health care? Like, Biden did, the pandemic emergency he could have signed. Like, Obamacare have a provision in it where, in some sort of emergency, they can give you health care. Like, Biden could have did that, right? But he didn't. So, no plan. Typical Kamala Harris for you.
That and then
It's no secret that Democrats have lost working class voters, especially rural Americans. What stood out about Walz's approach.
Yeah, because the reason why they are losing rural voters is because they just like the Republicans in a way. They don't give a fuck.
to winning them back was his.
Oh yeah, and also too, they don't come to small town America because they don't have a plan. Like you're not going to see Democrats in Louisiana. Because Louisiana is mostly rural state. Yeah, you got New Orleans and maybe Baton Rouge. The rest of the state is rural as fuck. Like they're not coming to Mississippi. That's rural America. Like, because they have no plan. Like You know, the only thing they want to get is the big cities, and you know, and minority votes. That's all they want. Oh man, like
His knowledge of their lives and specific struggles. He got into the weeds of farming with Gordon.
Farm bill. What do you guys do on crop insurance? What equipment do you need with potatoes? Like, how do you bring them in? Is it like sugar beets? You used to be able to make a living off 50 head.
Yeah, correct.
2000.
Yeah.
And the details of trade policy with Dan.
So my name is Dan Hand. I work at Mack Trucks in McCungie, Pennsylvania. I am a registered Republican. I'm going to support who's going to support labor. Volvo just announced that they are building a plant in Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's going to be building both Mack trucks and Volvo trucks. And everybody's really concerned about.
and yeah, they talk about Biden. I mean, Trump outsourcing jobs, but ain't that outsourcing jobs too? This is under Joe Biden right now, so yeah.
Potentially losing our work.
Yeah.
And we're wondering as far as what the administration would do to help strengthen our plant domestically as opposed to with what's coming out of Mexico.
Yeah, no, this was a big deal, and this is a double punch to you. In many of these cases, these folks were given a tax break, your tax dollars, tax breaks, to then offshore your job. And look, this started in the 80s and the 90s when we were saying that we would start shipping these jobs overseas, and then all of a sudden we started seeing the decline.
Thousands of auto workers in swing states are worried about whether their jobs will be shipped to low-wage countries like Mexico. And who they vote for will depend on who they trust to renegotiate flawed trade deals like the US-Mexico-Canada Agreement or USMCA.
The other concern is as far as like NAFTA 2.0, the USMCA.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened with John Deere. And they wound up losing a lot of work.
A lot of rhetoric. And look, Donald Trump picked up on this. He picked up on that there was frustration. We were frustrated because the jobs left and all that. They told us that they were going to fix this, and it didn't get any better. We lost 6 auto manufacturing plants under President Trump's presidency. We've gained back 20. So I think being very clear that we end the policies that incentivize them to do that. We re-incentivize those that are willing to invest here.
I hate to break it to you, but outsourcing will still continue under Kamala Harris, even if she went out. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, people keep voting for these two parties every 4 years, and you work for a job for 20, 30 years, all that hard work, all that getting up early in the morning, all that trying to find some energy because, you know, like you work overtime, you try to do right, and you know all they reward you is a pizza party, and then hey, we're gonna lay off half of your workspace because we got to ship our job to Mexico to save money.
And things like the Inflation Reduction Act, the CHIPS Act, and things like that, they are working. They are starting to come back.
Those two laws, passed by the Biden-Harris administration, invest trillions of dollars in bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. after decades of offshoring. People like Jamie Sychek are on the front lines of those global economic shifts.
Jamie Sychek, I am a skilled trades card holder of the UAW. It's coming up on my 30th year. I work in a steel mill in Butler, Pennsylvania, and we make a unique product that's electrical steel for transformers.
We're kind of tied to you guys with our taconite in northern Minnesota.
Yes. I got to be totally honest, I'm still up in the air. I did not vote for Donald Trump in 2016, and I did vote for Donald Trump in 2020.
Over the last 50 years, American steel jobs have been decimated by cheap foreign steel. The mill Jamie works at has been in limbo for years.
Last year with the Department of Energy, we had a rule regulation proposed that was nearly going to wipe us off the map. Everything was going to come from overseas.
What was the resolution on that?
The resolution ultimately was this past April. The rule accommodates the products that we make for this. But this is the heartburn I have. It was a very long, hard fought.
It felt like a fight.
To get that conversation to happen.
All right.
I think American workers like me and people in labor and just middle-class workers need to know that an administration that's in charge has a voice at that and will be a consideration from day one. If we're looking at
not
proposing,
after the fact, not when you're fighting,
proposing
anybody proposed
policies and regulations, that those have impacts on jobs and real people, and we need somebody that's going to consider that from the ground up.
Well, you certainly got my assurance, and I know the Vice President has has lived that way, and Joe Biden certainly did, is that we need to have you at the table and we need to avoid these things. We need to make sure that your voices of labor are heard. We talk about this being the most pro-labor, certainly not perfect.
Joe Biden, I like it. He's saying, well, he said not perfect. Yeah, he said again. If Joe Biden was a pro-labor president, then why he halted the goddamn railroad strike? A fucking scab. So yeah, like these motherfuckers don't care about labor. And the only reason why Biden didn't intervene in that when the dock workers strike for 2 days is because I think they knew a hurricane was coming, and so they had to rescind. So supposed to be a strike next year, early February, January or February. So because if they strike now, man, these corporations will be super fucked.
We've been through some of these, but I think you've got the assurance that things work better. We know this if you guys are at the table on the front end. And I'm really bullish because we're going to have to put steel in the ground on all of these, clean energy projects. And then there's golden opportunity there for jobs, American jobs on green steel, clean energy, American energy production.
Sustainable
and
jobs for generations,
I like how they talk about clean energy, and Kamala Harris says she won't ban fracking, and Joe Biden signed more oil drilling permits. Like, just total hypocritical shit right there. I just don't. It's crazy how these motherfuckers get away with this shit. Like, if that was Donald Trump, man, they'll run him in the ground. If Donald Trump said he gonna, if he said he was gonna have cream, Donald Trump, y'all know how right wingers is, man. If Donald Trump said that he gonna have clean renewable energy, and then he just giving out oil permits like candy, like hear the fucking liberals now. See, Donald Trump, see, he a gaslighter. Joe Biden is too. That's why we always say these two parties are the same.
I'm third generation in my plant. My dad, my grandfather worked there. There should be jobs there for 3 or 4 generations to come.
I think you're right. You're thinking about your kids. On what are jobs are they going to do, and then couple it with how they're going to buy a house. I don't want them coming out of school with debt. I want them having a skill and something to do. We're really pushing it. I know the Vice President's pushing it. This idea of skills, more apprenticeship programs, more opportunities to get in, build a stronger economy. They'll be thriving.
Vice President mentioned addressing the price gouging. A lot of people are struggling buying just basic everyday needs. I mean, I know she was saying that she's going to attack the price gouging, but how exactly?
When we're talking price.
Yeah, how? See, yeah, I can say I'm gonna build a house, but how you build a house? That's Kamala Harris. Like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of student loan debt. That's for example. But how are you gonna get rid of it? Oh, just going. Well, she'll probably say I'm gonna mean test the shit out of it. Like, you gotta have a blood sample or urine sample, like pen. Oh man, I hate people like that. Like, they always talk about the problem, don't have the solution.
Price gouging, it's a fairness in the market, and I just give a couple examples of this. The one is we saw the hurricane.
And this is the reason why Tim Walz don't even know the plan. That one thing about it, like, the guy asked a good question, like, how is she going to attack price gouging? Tim Walz, like, not Tim Walz, but y'all know what I'm talking about, like, oh my goodness gracious.
Coming in, all of a sudden, airline tickets went up in Florida or whatever. That's not free market. That's unethical. Look, I'm not against anybody being successful. I want them to be successful, but they shouldn't be making insane amounts while they're jamming the price on that, especially on things you need to get. I talk about the last one I give you the example of is insulin. In Minnesota, they were charging for that little vial of insulin a month's worth. They were charging $800. We capped it at $35. Now people are saying, well, how's the company going to make money? It costs $5 to make it. So 37 states already have these policies in, but we don't have a federal ban on doing this that can stop some of that. That's the initial hit on that. But the biggest thing is making sure wages are keeping pace with it, making sure that your taxes are going lower, making sure that healthcare prices aren't going up.
Okay.
So Steelers going to win it? Is that the word? I'm just curious. Look, I thought I will admit this. I thought I was smart. I thought I was smarter than Mike Tom.
They talking about my Steelers. God damn, really?
Tomlin. I said, what's he doing putting Russell Wilson in? And that's why Mike Tomlin's getting paid money to be a Steelers coach, and I'm not. So,
yeah, Russell Wilson, man, he doing the damn thing. I hope he continue. We need a quarterback. Anyway, yeah, man, I'm gonna pause it there. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I got one more story to do. Watch It Yourself is called "We Put 10 Walz in a Room with Undecided Voters. Can he win them over?" It's on More Perfect Union. Check it out, y'all. You know, a lot of these videos, I'm telling y'all, I'm just watching them with y'all, man. Like, I haven't seen them, you know, so this is my initial reaction. You know, I think that's more fair to do, you know. Okay, guys, the last story I want to talk about is from a guy that's supposed to be coming on today or tomorrow. Well, today. You know, he gave me a video. Let me see. Finna share the screen. I ain't gonna play all that. It's 32 minutes long. Yeah, I can't play all that. Yeah. Shit. Share my screen. Dang. I'm still used to StreamYard. That's crazy. It's called "Why Not PSL? Thoughts on U.S. Elections, Obstacles to the U.S. Left, Bernie Sanders, DSA, and more." So, should be interesting. I guess this guy, he's you know, he's pro DSA. I mean, not pro, he's pro PSL, which ain't nothing wrong with that. There we go. You know, I'm just guesstimating here. I gotta play the video just like you guys. So, so yeah, here we go. Finna play it now.
Hey, welcome to Socialism for All. This file is being recorded in late October 2024, and it's titled "Why Not PSL?", which is what a lot of people have asked me in the comments since I said that I plan to vote for the Green Party in this November's elections. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe and consider...
Before he goes into it, the reason why I picked Jill Stein over Claudia de la Cruz, and trust me guys, I love Claudia de la Cruz. Don't get me wrong. I love her energy. She has that fucking revolutionary type energy, man. Like, when she talks, man, you listen, like, you like, damn, this woman is powerful. But the only reason why but Jill Stein, the only reason why I picked Jill Stein over Claudia de la Cruz is because, number one, the Green Party has the greatest chance to reach 5%, which is 5. If you know, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know, if you reach 5%, you know, you get federal funding, which means you can expand your campaigns and stuff more. You know, a lot of people believe in third parties. You know, y'all should be on top of that. Like, would you? You know, I'm a type of guy that's, you know, voting. I'm kind of teeter-tatter on voting, but teeter-totting on voting. But, you know, I still willing to vote. You know, it's better than vote for the duopoly. And second of all, Jill Stein policies are just hands down the best. Like, very detailed, very thorough. You know, yeah. So that's why I picked Jill Stein or Claudia de la Cruz. Now I'm finna play it for a minute, then I get my thoughts.
You're supporting on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee at patreon.com/socialismforall or buymeacoffee.com/socialismforall. There are links to Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee in the video description. Okay, so here's one of the YouTube community posts that I put up last week. It says, "I plan to vote Green in 2024 to show support for getting an independent left party off the ground in the U.S. If you oppose the Gaza genocide, Dem exit and organize against the people enabling it. Calling yourself a leftist without even doing that much makes you a hypocrite and a chauvinist." A couple weeks before that, the time has come for the U.S. left to grow a spine and Dem exit. At the bare minimum, the Green Party, which has pledged to end U.S. aid to Zionism, already exists in all 50 states, and it can be built up further. You have to start organizing somewhere, so start. And this is consistent with what I've been saying for years on this channel. The fundamental task of the U.S. left is to split with the Democratic Party. We need an independent working class perspective, and that needs to be the basis for the organizing. And really no serious working class organizing can occur within the 1% controlled imperialist Democratic Party. It's not a suitable forum for ideological struggle. It is, as activists have been saying for decades, the place where social movements go to die in the US. They don't have internal democracy. Look what happened with Bernie Sanders in 2016 and 2020. Really, the list goes on. The party's been around since 1828.
That's so fucking true. Bernie Sanders, he had the people, he had the energy, like, you know, I seen it on Twitter myself firsthand. Like, this guy had a movement behind him. All he had to do, you know, even now, if you really think about it, like, even if Bernie Sanders went independent, I think he would just stop there too, but at least it's better, at least to have some balls, man. Like, people donated to you, Bernie. People gave you money. People knocked on doors. Yeah, I said people gave you money. I keep saying that twice. Knocked on doors, did text messaging for you, man. Like, Rome even made a commercial for you, which Rome says a waste, but it's still not, man. Like, that commercial is powerful. Just to let you know, Nick did stuff. You know, like, a lot of people did stuff, Bernie, but he just chose to. I believe the DNC got a P-tape on this guy. I think I guess they threatened him, like, hey, we got something on you, man. You better support Biden and Kamala Harris. Uh-huh. That was the fuck happened to Bernie, man. Like, you know, putting your energy, like Shama Suwan always say, a road to the Democratic Party leads to a dead end. I'm paraphrasing. I forgot exactly what she said, but she said something similar to that. Like, working to the Democratic Party is a dead end. And I still don't understand why these quote-unquote leftists, y'all know who I'm talking about, still, like, want to run behind these motherfuckers. Like, I just don't get it, man. At this point, you know, I think about what Sam Cedar said. Maybe it's the money, you know. Maybe a lot of these leftists that be on here, they do this shit for the money. I hate to say that, but, you know, RBN and I, you know, and other channels don't do it for money. I'm talking about, you know, maybe the cows, the crystals, you know, TYTs, you know. Come on, man.
That's when they first gained the White House. The system belongs to them. It's their system. We oppose the system, and we have to organize outside of that, scary though it may seem. I know that really, you know, living in the global headquarters of imperialism exerts a strong influence. Lenin noted this over 100 years ago. Between being bombarded with the most intense capitalist propaganda and also being a labor aristocracy, which does benefit from being in this country and all of the imports that the capitalists of this country get from the super exploited countries abroad, you know, that really does skew one's perspective. I mean, the continent itself is stolen, so there's that. I mean, that was really recent history and actually still ongoing. So, you know, a lot of people haven't come to terms with that. And then, you know, what kind of revolutionary potential is there really going to be? So, yeah, there are a lot of influences that keep the U.S. proletariat from having a lot of revolutionary potential or even really.
Propaganda, in my eyes, I think, was keeping a lot of U.S. people from even thinking about changing. Well, I keep saying changing the system. To keep from building a new system is, damn, my train of thought again, guys, is, you know, autism is not fun. It's not fun. Oh my God, help me, Lord. Propaganda, like, you know, the system is meant to be this way. Voting is meant to, it's only two parties. Like, the corporate media plays a huge part in this. Like, imagine if media wasn't corporate. It was just, imagine it was just independent media like us. It'd been independent media before that. Like, American people would be so much more educated. But that's why I said with that guy, like, he said, if I vote for Trump, he'll cut taxes. I'm like, Trump ain't gonna cut your taxes, fool. Yeah, he'll cut the 1%, but he ain't gonna cut yours. So
recognizing a lot of this stuff, just people get bound up in the system as presented. And even when they try to oppose it, it's hard to think big enough to oppose the whole thing because it's so enormous. But you really do need to step outside of the Democratic and Republican parties. And beyond that, the third largest party is the Libertarian Party, and they're even worse, arguably, than the other two. They're an extreme neoliberal crypto-fascist party that is for just naked capitalism, no protections whatsoever. Then you have the Greens, and to me, this is the first party which is an acceptable choice as a mass left party. They don't.
You know, I'm gonna say this about the Green Party. I know a lot of people have their issues with the Green Party in particular. I get it. You know, maybe I'm not too keen on their disagreements. Like, I mean, I kind of see what they did, but yeah, that's a bit extreme. But people gotta realize, like, no party's perfect. Like, you could criticize anything. I'm not saying not to criticize the Green Party. Like, I criticize the Green Party myself. Everything and everybody's worth a critique. But I'm just saying, like, the Green Party, like you heard what this guy said, the Libertarian Party ain't shit. Libertarian Party is like, damn. Libertarian Party remind me of Republican light. A light Republican-based party. A little bit more, I guess, more freedom-oriented. The Green Party is more like what a lot of people on the left prefer, like anti-war, pro climate change, anti-genocide, pro-Palestine. Like, that's what you need for a political party, But again, I will say this: voting should, like, the Green Party should be the last resort. If we want real change, man, guys, listen, we need a revolution. Like, we need on the ground organizing, education. Jill Stein is a great educator. Like, she teaches you stuff too. I noticed that by Dr. Jill Stein. Like, Dr. Jill Stein, I'm out of respect. Like, that's what she mostly doing. She mostly, like, educating the masses, So, yeah, man. Back to the video.
Take the corporate money. Basically, a lot of people supported Bernie Sanders, and he stole the Green Party's platform. So we know that there's a lot of popular support for what the Green Party stands for. As I see it, the main obstacle is all the bashing that the Democratic Party does against the Greens and anybody who dares to stick their neck out to say enough of the two-party system. We want something radically different. Both of these parties basically promise more of the same decade after decade, slowly getting worse, more violent, more militaristic, more austerity, etc. People don't want that. So yeah, it seems to me the obvious next step is for all the people, the tens of millions of people who turned out by the stadium full to support Bernie Sanders, need to organize in the party that they actually belong in.
I mean, that was you think would have happened, right? Like, you'll think all those people that like tens of thousands that showed up for Bernie Sanders rallies, like, you'll think, like, common sense knowledge would tell me, hey, like support Jill Stein. Not only she's way more to the left of Bernie Sanders, like, Jill Stein make Bernie Sanders like a neoliberal. He is a neoliberal based on his policies. The more you find out, like, you need to go beyond Medicare for all, like nationalize healthcare. Like, the wording matters too. Like, I found out about that is, like, even if we have a Medicare for all system, the top 1% or some wealthy person that donates to that hospital or whatever could still get prioritized care over somebody that was in a car accident or, need a heart, or had a heart attack. It's levels to this shit. That's why education is important. See,
which is the Green Party. I think that this undeniably would be a massive step up for the U.S. political landscape, but there is a lot of work involved, and while there are many dedicated Green activists around the country, a lot of people seem to be waiting around for somebody else to do it. It's like that thing in The Simpsons, can't someone else do it? Well, no, it doesn't really work that way. It works that way when big corporate money is just funneling options at you that don't really represent you, but when we need a thing for us, we need to build it. So I made this case in S4A live stream number 121. We talked about it for like 2 hours. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. That's my case for why the Greens. But to address the question, why not PSL? Here we go. On the screen are 4 reasons in no particular order. And
well, I'm finna just read this real quick. He says Greens are on the ballot in many more states. Yep. I am more personally familiar with the Greens, and I feel I can support the Green Party based on what I know of it. I believe the USA needs a mass workers' party more than a vanguard party right now. Now, he going to explain that. I believe in the PSL as a vanguard party revisionist. I agree. 100% agree with this guy said. Now I'm just see what he think.
Before we even discuss these, I should mention 2 additional points of background.
And also, too, guys, sorry for my camera quality looking like shit. It looks like I'm recording on the iPhone 3GS. Oh, man, my camera situation, I just don't know. So I apologize.
Number 1, I don't expect either of these parties to win this time around. The Greens are on enough ballots to get the electoral votes needed to win, but I don't think enough people are going to.
As I always say, if the Green Party had fair media coverage along with the other 2 corporate parties, they would have a good chance. I believe I say a 50-50 shot. I believe they'll get a lot of people that don't vote. And that's a lot. Like 60% of people don't vote. So imagine the Green Party get 58% of that vote. Then the other 2 parties get their little, vote. They'll probably win. But the system, as Dr. Jordy Gray said, DeGru says, is meant to be that way. You just gotta change it. Not change it. No, not change it. You can't change something that's not broken. You got to burn that shit down and rebuild something else.
Vote for them, which is a shame because I would argue that a majority of Democratic voters would actually prefer being Greens, but they're too chicken shit to actually act on it. And that's not just voting. It means building the party year in and year out, which is something, the Greens only show up once every 4 years. Well, what have you done to help?
And that's a lie. Greens do not show up once every 4 years. Green Party runs local seats, school council seats, city council seats, mayor seats, fucking state legislative seats. I hate when people say that shit. That sounds like some AOC type shit. Just run one person every 4 years and lose. Bitch, don't you read? Read fast before you talk shit. I'm sick of these people, man.
Help build the Greens. Oh, nothing? What a surprise. The Greens need volunteers. They need contributors. They need people to show up to the meetings and vote on things. They need activists who are going to get involved with the various projects that they're organizing. They need people to offer to run as candidates at the local and state and every other level. And have you done that? Have you even given them any money? No? Okay, then don't sit there and point the finger of the Green Party needs to do this. The Green Party is the people who show up to constitute the Green Party. If you didn't show up, you're part of the problem. Anyway, that said, the point is I don't expect Americans this time around to vote for the Greens in sufficient numbers for them to win. Same with PSL. I hope they do.
Yeah, I love for, the PSL and the Greens to get a lot of votes, but I know that, that's not going to be that's not going to be the case. PSL really rose out of, they was there, but ain't this the first time the PSL ran a presidential candidate, Claudia? If I'm wrong, guys, let me know in the comments below. But I'm just saying, I don't understand people they ain't gonna win, they ain't gonna do this. I'm well, they probably would have a chance if the game was fair, but the system is rigged. Deflategate and Spygate, that was rigged.
Very, very surprised. But even if not, what this is about for me is, again, registering that support for an independent working class party and saying that, hey, Here's a person who voted, I am socially and politically conscious. I did this thing, and I didn't vote for your genocide. I didn't vote for your austerity. I didn't vote for your police state.
That's the reason. That right there, what he just said, that's why people vote green. A lot of people, hardline is genocide. And when your hardline is genocide, why vote for two parties that's going to continue to fucking genocide? That don't make any sense. Vote for a party or a candidate that's against genocide. Like, just don't, it's, you know, and to all the people that thought Kamala would be more or less hawkish on Israel, where you at now? Like, them same people that say, oh, Kamala's different on Israel than Biden. Really? You sure about that? You sure about that? Shit.
Then point number 2 is both of these parties, to me, are sufficient in terms of their platform for registering that kind of a statement. Back in 2020, I did a reading on the channel of both the Green Party's platform and the PSL's platform. And again, they both exceed the minimum thresholds for me to support them as the kind of...
Yeah, both great. Yeah, I read both. You remember, I had it on the, I think it was Andre the Man show at the time. It's probably a good faith show. I was reading all the third-party candidates' policies, and both of them was phenomenal. Like, both of them, you know, the PSL and the Greens, reparations, the police, you know, dismantle the police state. Like, great policies. Just the problem is that, as he say, number one on the screen, the Green Party had more ballots in many more states. And also, I forgot to bring this up too. If we had fucking ranked choice voting, I could still vote for Claudia de la Cruz and Jill Stein, Dr. Jill Stein. Like, but we don't have that. Like, that's why I said in that video, like, I vote for Jill Stein, a vote for Jill Stein is not a vote for Trump. Ranked choice voting, you know, that could be a possibility, but why, you know, but again, though, why would you do that? Like, why would you vote for Jill Stein then vote for Trump? Like, that don't make any sense. Like, two totally different people. Like, Jill Stein has a heart of gold. Trump is just have a heart of cholesterol and fat. Oh man, let me continue.
Statement that I'm talking about, and if they actually get the power, well, that certainly would shake things up. All right, so with that understanding, let's look at these reasons. So number 1 is the Greens are on the ballot in many more states than the PSL is. My choice is to support the one that has more infrastructure and that has the opportunity to rally more votes behind it. On the screen is a list that I compiled from ballotpedia.com, and according to that site, Jill Stein of the Greens is on the ballot in 37 states, and there are organized write-in campaigns in an additional 4 states. Meanwhile, Claudia de la Cruz of PSL, or Party for Socialism and Liberation, also the South Carolina Workers' Party, and some unaffiliated ballot lines. Her ticket is on the ballot in 19 states, and then there are write-in campaigns in 14 states. So the Green Party comes out ahead in terms of being able to get more votes and to serve as a more consistent basis for a nationwide...
And people also notice if the Green Party has enough states to win the electoral college. Like, people don't know that. So technically she has a chance. See what I'm saying? Like, Claudia de la Cruz, if she won all those states, she wouldn't even be close, but it'll be significant. But Jill Stein, Green Party, yeah, has way more.
Rallying point and head count. And another note is that in the U.S. election rules, if you get 5%, you qualify for more federal funding. The Greens have been striving after this for a very long time. It would be great to see them reach that. So the Greens are on the ballot in many more states. To me, that is a plus in their column, and it's a factor in why I support them. So number 2 is I am more personally familiar with the Greens and feel that I can support the Green Party based on what I know of it. I became politically active after 9/11, and I marched in the big 2003 worldwide rally against the Iraq War. I had voted for Ralph Nader in 2000, but it was only after 9/11 and the U.S. started rolling out the global war on terror, and also I was old enough and at a point in my life where I could go get politically involved. Well, I started participating in the Green Party. Just looked up the website, went to some meetings, boom. It's kind of all you need to do, actually. So I saw how the US left works, because when you get involved with something like that, you're going to meet Greens, you're going to meet Libertarians, you're going to...
See, that's why building community matters. Like going to a protest, going to protest, that, like, you protesting for something, it's that particular situation that you're protesting for probably won't stop, but the main thing of protesting is building community, getting to know people that agrees with you on something. Like, that's why I'm trying to get the left on Twitter, for example, to do, like, we're in separate states, we in separate areas, but if we can just maybe one day come together on something, one day, you never know. But yeah, that's the goal of protest.
You're going to meet the Trotskyists, you're going to meet, well, basically everybody who's been pushed to the fringes of the U.S. political landscape. Now, not all these groups are the same. Horseshoe theory is not real. Nevertheless, there are some opportunistic alliances between the Greens and the Libertarians on certain common issues, such as debate access. But in terms of a class perspective, in terms of values, in terms of platforms, there's really nothing in common there. So that's where I started to get my feet wet. Later, 2008 happened, Occupy happened, etc. And, my education in the left continued to grow. And eventually I started this channel. So I know the Green Party. I know what it is. I know what it isn't. I know what its strengths are. I know what its weaknesses are. And I feel like it is a decent starting point for building the mass left party to get the leftists out of the Democratic Party, which if Bernie Sanders had a spine, he would have done in 2016.
Exactly.
When the Democratic Party shafted the entire Bernie movement. Now, we didn't get Bernie doing that. Instead, we have to fight Bernie Sanders now on top of everybody else that we have to fight. And we still haven't had that sort of watershed moment where everybody goes who should be in the Green Party and actually gets in it. So I don't know when that moment's going to come, but I'm more than ready to assist when it does.
I would tell him this, though. You might not get those people that was with Bernie Sanders back in 2016, but there's always people that apolitical you can get. You convince them. I'll say that. So, yeah. A few more minutes of this, guys, and I'm going to cut it off. I want to play this whole thing because it goes on a long time.
So I am very personally familiar with the Green Party. I am far less familiar with PSL. I did at one point inquire about joining PSL. I didn't get called back for 4 months. At least it might have been longer than that. And by the time they got back to me, I was no longer interested for other reasons. So I never got that firsthand experience. But honestly, in hindsight, I'm kind of glad I didn't, which I'll expand on when we get to reason number 4. But for right now, let's do reason number 3. I believe that the USA needs a mass workers' party more than it needs a vanguard party right now. So that gets into what I was about to say, which is PSL and the Greens are not really the same type of party. PSL is more of a vanguard or communist party. What does that mean? Well, in the working class movement, you have the masses, and sometimes we specify divisions within the masses like the advanced masses, the middle masses, and the backward masses. The backward masses being most captured by capitalist ideology, the middle masses having some class consciousness, but it's not consistent, and the advanced masses who haven't really studied systematically. They're not scientific socialists, they're not communists, but they're pretty consistent in terms of being principled progressives. So out of the masses, you get your workers' movement, your labor unions, which have been gutted.
Yeah, so basically he's saying between the PSL and the Greens, it kind of lies between the middle. The Greens lies between the middle of the masses. Everybody's not communist, right? Obviously, communism has been weaponized for a very long time. So yeah, the Green Party, yeah, more of a pro-workers party, pro-worker. Okay, I get that. Cause I'm about to say what's wrong with a vanguard? But I get what he's saying now. So
in the United States, but all the other proletarian institutions and organizations, these are basically mass organizations. Then you have the vanguard. The vanguard is the tip of the spear, the brain, if you will, the dedicated scholars of revolution, studying labor history, studying the history of class struggle, studying Marxist economics. People who don't just go on vibes, but actually do the study. They read the history, they dig up the statistics, and they get at what's going on behind the appearances that the ruling class tries to put out there, which can be confusing if you haven't done the study. So one of the contributions that Lenin made was the concept of the party of a new type, a party of communists that would have specific rules as to how they organized and basically higher standards of discipline and militancy, holding to principles like democratic centralism. If you're interested in this topic, read Lenin's What is to be Done from 1902. We have it on the channel as an audiobook. But basically, this is a way of organizing that Lenin thought it was necessary to do in order to get a revolution actually, all the way from the beginning to the end and taking power. And that's exactly what they did, so it worked. So PSL tries to be more of a party of this type. The Greens are not, which means that they are less ideologically developed, but they're also more flexible in terms of being a big tent that many people...
Yeah, so obviously I know the Green Party is not communist, but at least, I can, I can fuck with them, basically. That's true.
Who consider themselves on the left can join. And actually, also back in 2020, we did an audiobook on the channel by the Green Party's 2020 presidential candidate, Howie Hawkins, who was also a co-founder of the Green Party back in the 80s. And the title of that work, the audiobook's only like an hour long, and I do recommend it, is The Case for an Independent Left Party. And basically, Hawkins lays out his idea, not just for why you can't organize in the Democratic Party, but for transforming the Green Party into a dues-based mass membership party, styled in terms of its structure after the old Socialist Party USA. This is the same kind of structure that the IWW, or Industrial Workers of the World, labor union has right now, where you can join it no matter what workplace you're in. You just pay your dues, you meet with your local branch, and you decide on stuff to do. I think that could be a good step for the Green Party, but even as it is right now, you can just get involved. You don't even have to pay dues. But to come back to point number 3, I believe that the US needs a mass workers party more than it needs a vanguard party. To me, the mass workers party is the sort of baseline. You need a strong labor movement. You need at least the fundamentals of workers being willing to stand up in what they perceive as their own interests. And then you can get the
So yeah, y'all, I'm about to end it right there. I got another show to do. So yeah. so today is election day. I know a lot of you guys probably voted early, which is good. Only reason I couldn't vote early because last week I decided to go to an area in Alabama called Coleman, Alabama. It's a Republican county, Coleman County, Alabama. One of those counties that have the same city name as the county. I think that's weird, but it is what it is. I went there and, I just, people saying, oh, this is Trump country. This is that. I went there, black guy, I wasn't even scared of nothing, man. I talked to a few people, went to a couple of, people meet at, the downtown area, Walmart. I wish I had my camera with me so I could record it, like, to show people that I'm doing on the ground organizing. But yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Holy hell. Anyway, I went there, people were nice. I asked 3 or 4 people. Again, I wish I had my camera because, having visual evidence is always a key. I asked, why are you voting for Trump? And one guy said that the reason why he voted for Trump is because Trump, would be better on the economy, the typical rhetoric. And I'm like, Jill Stein will not only be better on the economy, but she'll be better, she'll give you health care. She'll fight for you to get health care. She'll help with climate change, pretty sure. I think these guys are former too, like, climate change is a real factor, she'll help prevent climate change from getting worse. Like, it's already bad, but keep the effects from getting worse. We talked on and on, pretty sure he's still gonna vote for Trump, but hey, at least I tried, me as an introvert, man, I come a long way, in terms of like organizing and, just talking to people, man. Like, I used to hate talking to people. Like, I didn't want to talk to nobody. I just want to be quiet. I want to be left alone, but I gotta learn, like, I gotta put that introvertism to the fucking back burner, man. Like, we need a revolution. We all eventually, You know, we ain't gonna get everybody in the revolution, but if we can get at least a quarter of people on our side, man, we can change the system from within. So, all right, guys, that's the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, be sure to hit that like button. I forgot to mention that earlier. It helps out with the algorithm. You know, follow my podcast, Real Recognize Real. I'm available on all major podcasting platforms. Yeah, I know which one I am. Y'all know what I look like. Ape, you know, ape face. So that, and yeah, man, just continue, man, you know. Continue to organize and collect, man. That's all we could do at this point. So that's the end of the Good Faith Show. I'm Andre Morton, signing out.